We've got a few positions to finish off drafting from. It's pick 3. We are drafting Luka Doncic despite the 2-game playoff week. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and Splinter taught them to be ninja teens. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, redrock_Beeble, at redrock_Beeble, in fact, on TikTok, at redrock_Beeble, and on Instagram, at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Go ahead and check it out as a new... Well, we're getting a big return, actually. Big return on FanDuel. First bet, $5, put it on, and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Go to FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free, and we are available on all platforms. We are rolling through the 240 game shows. The 240 game shows where we look at projecting minutes for teams and how hard it is for certain guys to maybe crack into the rotation. In the last 2 shows of those, I've discussed the Kawhi Leonard news. I've discussed the Isaiah Hartenstein injury, and we are doing this mock draft now after those injuries have happened, so we'll see how it impacts. Where does Kawhi fall to? Where does Hartenstein fall to? What does it do for other players? How high up does Harden go? We'll see that in this draft. This is another 9-category league draft. The reason I don't do a points league mock draft from every position, because I don't think it's that necessary, because you're not building teams. Right? You're not doing that. So every time when we're doing every points mock draft that I do, I will pick from a certain area and I'll talk about guys that I think are too high, too early, and it's about zones and picks. It's not about, well, this is bad, this doesn't fit. That's not how any of it works. So you can just generally get the idea from either the picks that I make in a certain area or the picks that I say I do or don't like from those certain areas. Because that is how it's always going to work in a points league. Who do I think is going to score more fantasy points? Irrespective of what the guy before him did, irrespective of what the guys after him are doing. Doesn't matter. That's why I don't do one of those from every position. So we're here to do that, to do this mock draft now, picking from pick 3 with Luka Doncic. We'll get into that in a second, but so we can get through it uninterrupted. Today's episode is brought to you by Hims. Do you ever feel like you need that little bit of a boost in the bedroom? Maybe your mock draft did not go well, and you're just struggling to keep it hard and to last as long as you need to. Well, it's time to stop worrying about your performance and get Hims, so you can feel confident after your mock draft to get hard and stay hard whenever you're in the mood. The process for Hims is 100% online. Well, it's 99% online. So there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. It gives you a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like the old chewable hard mints, Viagra, Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. You also don't need to worry about insurance. It's one low price that covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. So start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That is HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. Hims.com/lockedon. These products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Start the season with a big return on FanDuel. The NBA season is less than a week away, and you can get in with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So in the middle of the game, or as you're doing your preseason prep, you might have an idea, a hunch, something you want to check out. You can go check out all of the stats live on the page where you would place your bets on FanDuel, as well as the live play-by-play when the games are going on. You also can get yourself started with $200 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 bet. That $200 in bonus bets is guaranteed. It is not reliant upon you winning that first bet. You just got to place it. That's all you need to do. And then you can go ahead over onto FanDuel and check out the regular season wins. You can check out the options there. Boston, for example, set at 58.5. That's a lot of wins, man. Minus 106 for over 58.5. That doesn't seem like that's something I'd want to do, but that's okay because all the options are available over at FanDuel. So head to FanDuel.com right now and don't forget to gamble responsibly. We're going to get this mock draft underway. I'm picking at number 3. Let's get it on, Gilly. All right, let's get into the draft room now. Like I said, I'm picking at 3. We're going to start off with Luka. I can see one person who's not in the room. I hope they get in there soon. Al-Badei, are you here? Good name. We'll see. What? He's here now. We're all ready to go. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. PHX. He's off and rolling at number 1. Does he go Wemby? Does he go Jokic? Does he take anyone at all? Is he alive? Is he here? Says he's here. There we go. All right, we're off. Wemby's at 1. I know Yosh45 is here because he requested to move up to number 2. So let's see what he does with that selection. Remember, Luka has 2 games in the week that ends March the 23rd. Remember that. So you determine whether you want to take that risk in a playoffs. Playoffs. If it's the first round of your playoffs and you can get buys, totally okay. It shouldn't be. It should be the final week of your playoffs. And while I like Luka, there is always risk of injury. There is always risk of free throw reversion. No one was considering him in category leagues the absolute guaranteed number 3 overall player last season. A lot of people's minds have been flipped by one season of hitting 78% from the line, which is, I get that. So I don't think that there is this massive outsized gap between Luka and everyone else. But you have to make that call, whether you just think everything that he did last, and we all go into this trap of this is what he did last season, therefore it carries all the way through all the time. And it's not really true because we know that because at the start of last season, no one spoke about Luka this way. There were still, I'm sure somewhere, somebody arguing, well, Luka's actually, for 9K, is actually only 14th, so why would I take him in round 1? I'm sure somebody was still arguing that last season. Luka 3, Shea 4, Giannis 5, Davis 6, top 6 locked in. Halliburton goes at 7, and then Trey at 8, and Harden has moved up to 9. That is with the indefinite absence for Kawhi Leonard, which we don't know what it means. Does it mean he's out until the start of November, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever? You know that I've been avoiding Kawhi in any draft inside the top 50, not touching him. I won't touch him inside the top 60 now, probably. I just don't think he's going to play, and it's going to be in and out. Giggity. I'm not doing it. Not taking Embiid in round 1, not taking Kawhi in the top 50, and I've been very, very clear on all of this all the way through. And I'm not changing my mind on it now, even though I did idiotically take Kawhi at 55 in one of my drafts. At least it's a games cap. Curry goes 11, LaMelo goes at 12. LaMelo was starting out in drafts at like 29. And now he's borderline first round, which per game makes a lot of sense. But of course, I guess people have just ignored that risk that they thought it was at the start of the process. Sabonis at 13. The worry with Sabonis is, again, lower scoring, bad free throws, and if DeRozan impacts assists. And then Scott Barnes goes at 14. Which, does he maintain the shooting? Does he go back to being a bad shooter? Because he was bad for the final 2 months. Do the defensive numbers hold? I don't know. The big fella here, winner, takes Embiid at 15. That's probably more where Embiid is going now. Anthony Edwards goes at 16. By the way, Yahoo did update their X ranks with a few days to go in the season. I don't think I'm going to do a full video going, well, here are the values and that, because not that much changed, honestly. There were some changes, but it wasn't wild stuff. But I'll see. We'll see how we go for time. Edwards 16, Durant 17, Lillard 18. Ooh, I haven't seen... Wow, Damian Lillard at 18. I'm not against it. I just haven't seen it happen very much. And Lillard often goes at that back-end second, start of third round when you get those 7-8 point guards running. And him going there just changes some of that mix up. And I wonder where like a Tyrese Maxey ends up going. Now, because of the George / Embiid injury situation. What's Barbecue Chicken thinking about here? As Towns goes at 20, which is really good value for Towns. I think Brunson's got to start being looked at soon, and I will take Brunson and pair him up again with Luka if that comes to me. Well, there goes Devin Booker. This is I put Kyrie in my queue. I absolutely did not, and that is a pairing you cannot do in head-to-head. You cannot do Kyrie and Luka together. You can't, even though there's upside built into Kyrie especially, because if Luka misses, he just does more. But you can't have your first 2 picks playing 2 games in a playoff week. Roto, go for it. Love it. Great combination. As I just waste down some time, I'll take Brunson there. The next one I want to do is I want to get a rebounder. So if it comes to me, I will take Chet. I'll take Şengün. There goes Kyrie at 23. So I want Chet or Şengün. Got 3 picks to go. I don't think I'm going to have choice of both of them. Also, LeBron hasn't gone, which is a little surprising. This is prime LeBron territory, Well, there he goes at 24. So 2 picks to go. I've got Chet or Şengün in the queue. There goes Maxey as well. Thought he might start to go here. All right, so I'm going to get one of Chet or Şengün. And I will take Chet. No, I won't because he just went. So I'll take Şengün there. Rebounds, assists, center eligible. Bad free throws, sure, but I think they might be better. I can be punting blocks with him and it's okay because these guys don't get any of those categories. Remember, my general ethos in building a team is that there are a lot of variance categories, game to game, week to week, year to year. And if I build teams that are super strong in the high variance categories, it leaves me very vulnerable. So I just want to be sort of pretty good in steals and blocks and percentages. I don't need to be if I can be dominant in them, I will be. But if I sitting in the middle average pack, there's no need for me to push from 6th best to 5th best because that stuff is so variable that it'll work out for me. I want security in the other categories, the more stable categories. After Şengün went 3-point shooting legend Bam Adebayo, then De'Aaron Fox, then Ja Morant, then Fred VanVleet. So there's your point guard run. DeJounte Murray's still there though, as Jaren Jackson goes at 32. I haven't really seen Jaren going that early yet. And I wonder if people will bump the Bronco Jalen Williams up a little bit because of the Hartenstein injury, who's out for 5 to 6 weeks if you're not aware. There goes DeJounte Murray and the Bronco, and Cade Cunningham is still available at 35. There you go. So there's that point guard run that we always talk about, that those guys all fly off in round 3, and I don't think any of them are available, but who has lasted is Evan Mobley, Zion, Paul George. Quickly is probably the point guard left, and then Jalen Johnson almost invariably goes on this turn here. So Jalen Johnson's going to go here, I'm certain. There you go. 36 for Jalen Johnson. And this could be a Mobley. It could be a Markkanen here as well, which I don't like Markkanen in round 3 for head-to-head. I do like him in round 3 for Roto. I like Markkanen in round 4 for head-to-head because I think that gives you a little bit more value and knowing that you don't want, if you can get your fourth round pick not there in the head-to-head playoffs, that's okay. It's not ideal, but you've gotten 3 better players. If it's your 3rd best player, I'm not going to feel super good about it. So all the guys that I just mentioned, Jalen Johnson, Evan Mobley, Zion Williamson, all just came off the board there. So I'm not loving that. I would have loved to have got one of those players, but I didn't, so that's okay. We move. What's my team's projected free throws? And people ask, how does he know this? Basketball Monster, draft tracker. The picks update. You just click a button. Import from Fantrax as the draft's going. All your stats import through. Everyone else's stats import through. You can see projected standings, but also we don't want to win the projected standings game because that can lead you into low upside scenarios that lead to variance things that can cause losses. It's good to have an idea, but it does lead to, if you don't use it correctly, it leads to problems. After Zion goes Paul George, Jarrett Allen. Who did the... Oh, no. Winner took Embiid and Paul George. Oh, yuck. Jarrett Allen, Larry Markkanen, Miles Turner, Jaylen Brown. And when I've talked a lot... Someone said Jarrett Allen. Yikes. What are you talking about? That's a fine pick. When people ask this question, who's the good pairing here? My thing has always been... Well, not always. That's not true. Probably the last 2 years. It's always been, I don't care. There's not a key bloke that you got to get. It's more about what are you avoiding? And if I've taken Embiid, I'm avoiding Paul George. If I've taken Embiid, I'm avoiding Kawhi Leonard. I guess you could say, well, I'll just go all in on high upside, but that's just not... To me, that is... If you're playing large field for a big prize overall at the end, you can do that, but otherwise, I'm not sure about that idea. All right, what do I want here? I do want to work on my rebounds. They're okay, but they're not super strong. But I do want to get an assist player here. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm just going to take... what pick are we at? 46. Time running down. I'll take Siakam there. Get a bit of a rebounding boost. He's not a bad passer. DeRozan was another option for me. So was Desmond Bane, who... so Bane just went one pick before, so I didn't say that. After Miles Turner went Jaylen Brown, Paolo Banchero, Desmond Bane, Siakam, Jim Butler, who's also a pretty good pick there. And then Emmanuel Quickley, Darius Garland are moving into solid spots. I wouldn't take, if I was Yosh 45, he's got Kyrie, he's got Butler. I would not take Kawhi Leonard in the next round to pair that with him. Again, if it all hits, by all means, that's great. But in a 12-man league, I don't think that's the right move. If you're trying to win a field of 400 people, maybe you do it. Gobert goes at 49 after quickly went at 48. So my thing is here, do I go point guard again? Do I try and get a center here? Like, would I feel good about Jalen? Garland was going to be my guy. Like DeAndre Ayton, I like him a little bit, but maybe not enough. Do I maximize Derek White here? 50 pick 51. Yeah, let's take Derek White. Solid across the board. Some defensive numbers. Efficiency good. Some assists as well. Ayton, I just wish I feel more confident about what they're going to do with Ayton. Because he stunk, and then he was great. But, like, what do they do? What's Klingon's role? Klingon won't play 30 minutes a night. I'm very confident of that. And now some centers role. Ayton, Claxton. But we don't have that scenario now where old mate Hartenstein's going to go in this round. Wow, this is probably the latest I've seen Jamal Murray fall as well at 54, which is fine. My team so far, picking from 3. Doncic, Brunson, Şengün, Siakam, and Derek White. Jalen Duren goes at 55. DeMar DeRozan has fallen here. This is, Julius Randle at 56. Yeah, okay. DeRozan falling, he needs to go really soon here. He was it was him or White that I was really considering. It would have been Garland, but Garland went. Franz Wagner, 57 is nice. You got both Bridges here as well. Thick Hogsman, Zach LaVine, Brad Beal. That's the sort of range here. Round 6, we know it's the Jordan Poole, Brad Beal, Zach LaVine, Cam Thomas zone of players. Will all go in round 6 as well. And then people might start to reach on centers. Speaking of reaching on centers, I'm just going to stick Ivica Zubac into the queue. Because I'm interested to see what Zubac can do. I know that without Hartenstein, we are going to be getting some premiums put on centers, or do I wait and take a Pirtle, Gafford, Lively? By the way, Onyeka Okongwu will be back starting today because Capella is dealing with an ankle problem. So that is a huge W that Okongwu is back and available to play. So now, like, I'm having a little bit more faith of him because he's ready for opening night. So I've got more faith now. There goes Tobias Harris and Vooch. Levine and Vooch almost always go back-to-back. We'll see what old mate Chetty Bong Bong does at 60 because Vooch goes 59. Oh, he takes DeRozan. Wow, that is way too far for DeRozan to fall. Way too far. Really good value get there. Also, we are 60 picks in and no one has taken Kawhi Leonard. It's going to leave me with an awkward decision if we get to my pick at 70 and he's still there. There goes Josh Giddey at 61. Brandon Miller, 62. I guess the question we ask now is, are people overreacting? Oh, the other guy who would be interesting, probably not for me, but the other player who's interesting here is who's jumping way up draft boards is Walker Kessler. And with Hartenstein out, Kessler's seemingly locked in as the starting center. He could very easily be a top 50 type player. Very. Obviously, you understand the ups and downs of what he provides. So the team with Embiid and George took Zach LaVine, who's not, I wouldn't say that's a super secure spot, although the spot for LaVine is totally okay. Just a really interesting team build. He's punting assists though, because his assists aren't very good. I'm just going to look at his squad. What team is it? It's winner. His assists are pretty low in comparison to everybody else. I think the lowest team apart from D-Will, which team is D-Will? Oh yeah, that team there. Oh yeah, his assists are trash. Oh, yeah, hang on. He's got Trae Young. Why is this so bad? Oh, because everyone else is bad. All right. So it goes Levine, and then Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges, OG Anunoby, Brandon Ingram. 2 picks away from me, and I've got Doncic, Brunson, Şengün, Siakam, and White as my picks. I will look. It might be early at 70 for Zubac, but... Oh, there goes Kawhi at 68. Wowee. There goes Cam Thomas at 69. I'm going to start the roll here on centers. Get them started through the next couple of picks. I'll take Zubac there. And then look to get an Okongwu or a Lively later on. Jordan Poole at 71. So Beal is falling. Simons is falling. Jordan Poole just went. I said that at 71. D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves are also players I like around here, so Russell can go into the queue. Simons I sort of like around here. Tyler Hero, 73. Okay. Beal at 72, really good value. Not sure I love the Hero one at 73. And there goes Kessler. So we talked about Kessler jumping way up. The other one around this area in terms of centers is Mark Williams. I won't grab him. I'll grab Simons there. Now, what I do need, you can see on my team, if you're looking on the left, is I don't have a small forward or a forward eligible player. So that is what I need to be starting to look at in the next few picks, which my next pick is 94 and 99. And there'll be forwards around that area very easily. Yeah, does Trey Murphy fall down to me? Maybe. Austin Reeves is always a good Fantrax draft guy because he's 3 position eligible. And there aren't that many of those. I'm just going to look who else has got. Bogdan's got it. I think I might have talked about this in another episode. But Bogdan's got 3 position eligibility. Austin Reeves does. Honestly, well, Royce O'Neal, the next one, down. So, yeah, there's not that many. Cason Wallace, Ryan Dunn. Why has Ryan Dunn got point guard eligibility? Bro, he's got point guard, shooting guard, small forward. The man's going to play power forward center. I know you say center's weird. He plays small ball center. Point guard, shooting guard's outrageous. Najee Marshall is shooting guard, small forward, power forward. Who else has got the 3? As the draft just rolls on. Carlo Makovic, small forward, power forward, center. Yeah, bro is never playing small forward in his life. He's a center. Delano Banton's got point guard, shooting guard, small forward. And that's how far down we are. So that's that value of Austin Reeves there. So after Simons, it went Kuzma, D'Angelo Russell, Jabari Smith, that's early. Keegan Murray, early. Drew Holiday, fine. Mark Williams could really work out nicely. Now, Winner has gone with a lot of injury guys. And now he takes Nurkic at 82. Nurkic is ready with that broken figure and healthy and ready to play. So that's good news as well. And then Brook Lopez. There's the centers. Right, there's the centers. So Gafford, and it does look like that Lively is locking in a starting center, by the way, in Dallas, if you weren't aware of that. That's the direction we're going. I'm going to throw Bogdan into the queue. And Austin Reeves still around. So whoever gets, and I won't get them, but 94. But Austin Reeves turning into, I think, a pretty good value play around this area. There goes another center, Yucca Pirtle. Wowee, okay. So do people start jumping on and getting Gafford, Lively, Okongwu, Capella in this round? It's definitely possible. And I don't know if these people in this draft have seen that Okongwu is back, because it just happened like 10 minutes ago, I would say. Also, I haven't gotten to the 240 game on Portland yet. Blazers writers think that Scoot will come off the bench, even with Sharp out, and they will start Tumani Kamara. So just be aware of that. So I am knocking Scoot down. The fact that they won't start him continues to be baffling and frustrating, but it looks like they are going to go with Kamara. That's what I have heard. Kamara, Avdia, Grant, which, I don't know, man. There goes Bogdanovic at 85, Michael Porter at 86, and Colin Sexton at 87. Sexton is falling into the 90s a lot now. And Draymond at 88. Draymond, it's got to be a very specific situation with your team, obviously, because of his lack of scoring. CJ McCollum, 89. Now, as rotations get a little bit more clear at this point of the year, I'm going to be more critical of what people do in these last couple of rounds. Not critical of them, but of the ones where I go, not happening, can't see how it works. A lot of the late flyers we take is before we sort of know how things are going to play out. And now we don't necessarily know, but we're sort of seeing where rotations sit. That's why I liked in the start of September looking at Carlo Makovic. And now he's the third string center and fourth if you count Herb Jones. So we're not doing that, even though I still think he's a real chance to be an impactful player. But I don't care because he's not playing. Austin Reeves almost got back to me. Him at 91 is unbelievable value. So Draymond Green, then CJ McCollum, then Dan Gafford, then Austin Reeves. Ron Barrett, I'll stick into the queue. Jalen Suggs will go in the queue. Derek Lively goes as well. Wow, centers are getting absolutely premiumed here. Kuminga goes at 93, and now it is my pick. Simons was my last pick. That rebound run was wild, or center run was wild. I need... You know what? But also, we're at this spot now. He hasn't gone. I'm taking Hartenstein here. That's fine. I'll take Hartenstein there. 5 to 6 weeks is annoying, yes. But I'll take him there. That's a big enough drop that's worth it, I think. Porzingis is the other one that's sort of left there, and Trey Murphy, the guys that are hurt. And Devin Vassell also who I've been seeing go in the 70s a lot, is still available too. Or did he go, Vassell? Where is Vassell on this list? Oh, he's FanDuel. Fantrax ADP has dropped to 108, Vassell. So Kobe White at 96. So, all right. What am I want Jalen Suggs, actually. Or Ron, actually, no, I'll take... Oh, but see, look, taking Hartenstein and then Barrett with the shoulder, I'm not really sure where... Oh, my God, my favorite player, Jalen Green, went at 97. I'm distraught. Keontae at 98. Yeah, I think Keontae has to go ahead of Scoot in every draft now. So do I take Barrett even though I've got Hartenstein? I don't think Barrett's missing time to begin the year. I don't know that, though. Or this guy actually, I don't mind a Terry Rozier pick there. So let's just take Terry Rozier. I still need to make sure I'm filling out those forward spots. Now, Rozier is on my bench there. You can see I don't care because we know in the daily changes format, we are using everybody. But I do want to get forwards with these next few picks. And yeah, Barrett could have made a lot more sense than Rozier there. But I was just hesitant with the injury. But I will be getting forwards with my next two. Who they are, I don't know. Well, look at these centers again. Okongwu and Valanciunas. That is a just wild adjustment. What do people do with like Alex Sarr? Sarr, who doesn't have center eligibility. And there goes Trey Murphy also at 102. Sarr is not going to make it back to me. I'm guessing Suggs goes 103. My next pick's 118. Also Barrett falling quite a bit too. And surprisingly, Noah Men Thompson, who I've seen go in round 8. He still might go here, but he's one of those guys that, well, there goes Barrett at 104 that I talked about on the Houston Rockets 240 game. Is like, how do all these guys play enough? And Vassell, wow, 105 Vassell, which is actually like really, really solid there. That's exactly the zone you want to do it. And could really work out in a big way. There goes Alex Sarr at 106 to winner, who I didn't like what he did early on, but the Sexton pick is good. I like the Harris pick. The Nurkic pick is fine as well, and Sarr pick is okay there too. So I think he's doing, maybe he is building a winner, some might say. Caruso at 107. Caruso, I think, will start for the Thunder, but I don't know that Hartenstein's injury 100% guarantees it, because they still could go with Joe, or they still could go with Wiggins there also. But I do think it'll be Caruso. And the last pick is number 108. Still like 10 picks away from me. And there goes Amen Thompson. So he did sneak into the 9th. It still is hard though. How does he play 25 plus every night? Injuries will help without question. Dyson Daniels doesn't have small forward eligibility, so that's not going to work for me as a pick. Klay Thompson does, so that will work. Nas Reed has got forward eligibility, so that will work. Wow, Jackson Davis, Trace at 109. Like, again, check the rotation game show, the 240 game. That team is... I've got it, and I had him at 21 minutes, and it meant that, like, Heald and Melton were playing 21-22, and, like, it's so hard to find enough regular playing time. Nas Reed, 110. So I'm souring on so much of these Warriors players just because there's too much uncertainty, and it requires probably injuries to open something up, or some sort of trade or something. We are, 7 picks away for me. I do need forwards, so Josh Hart will be someone. And Josh Hart does fall. Usually, there goes Porzingis. Josh Hart does have the old forward eligibility. Zach Edey at 112. So he's all over the place. I saw him in the 70s. Now he's at 112. I think people forgot about him after that center run. I didn't want to get another center, but I think people forgot that. Also, Chris Middleton and Scoot both falling lower than you expect. Marcus Smart 113, Middleton 114, which could actually turn out pretty good. Capella 115. Wow, okay. Denny Avdija could work for me as a forward eligible player. Also, Tyus Jones available. There is just a lot happening here, man. There goes Scoot at 116. Do I take Josh Hart here? Chat, help me out. What are we looking at? What do I need? Or do I take Klay? I don't really like drafting Klay. Or. Okay, there goes Jeremy Grant at 117. I might get myself a points and threes boost and take Norman Powell there. All right. with the Kawhi news, it should just give a little bit more security into Powell. And I can get a Josh Hart with the next pick. I think Josh Hart would be, or Denny. Definitely not Clay. Or what about my man, Jeremy Sohan, who I am pretty, we're talking upside plays. Jeremy Sohan is a very interesting upside play. I'm not sure Josh Hart is, although he might be. But his usage has been comically low in the preseason. Like an absolute joke how low it's been. And then John Collins at 120. I don't like John Collins at 100, but at 120, that's all right with me. Andre Drummond goes 121. We know what's happening there. This guy's already taken Tyrese Maxey. He's betting against Embiid. I wonder where... I think that'll trigger somebody to look at Kelly Oubre as an option, which is understandable. What's old mate Yosh doing here? Oh, well, I can't take Sohan, can I? Because this man just took him. Does this mean that I am... No. I'm going to take... I had all those guys in the queue there, Hart and Avdia, but I want a little bit more scoring and three security. So I'm going to take the big ragu. Dante DiVincenzo at 123. Okay. He's been getting some assist numbers in preseason, which I've liked. Tyus Jones also doesn't normally fall this far, so that's interesting. And also Pajemski. Very different. And Conley, you are finding in round 11, 12 all the time. And I will grab him in round 12 without any question at all. I'll throw Tyus there. I'll throw Chris Paul as well. People just don't want these guys. There goes Jaden Ivey and Taylor Hendricks. I like Hendricks as a player. I like his fantasy upside. Shot blocking, rebounding, three-point shooter. But the usage is invisible. And you've got to at least get some shots. So at this point, I like the flyer on Hendricks. I don't know that it's going to stay. I don't know that he's going to be a valuable guy early on. After Hendricks is Tyus Jones, Mike Conley, Bob Portis. I'm also surprising. Denny Avdia still available. Josh Hart's still available. There goes Chris Paul. What else are we looking at here? So I've got all those forward spots filled out. I do need one more forward eligible player. I would probably like to get myself another center, but the only guy there is Al Horford. He actually fits both. He's center, power forward eligible. So Horford will make sense at my pick of 142, especially early season stuff. So there goes Denny at 130. My next pick's 142. There is a chance that Horf falls down to me, and then PJ 131. I am surprised that Dyson Daniels hasn't gone yet. But like I said on the 240 show for the Hawks, how does he play 30? How do we get the minutes? Even Ricochet, I think that Hunter's going to start. I also don't think that Quinn Snyder will let that stay for very long. I think he'll make a change quickly. That's why I am more into drafting someone like Ricochet, but someone like Khalil Ware or Bub Carrington. I don't really see when that change is happening anytime soon. Dyson Daniels finishes off round 11 at pick 132, which is later than I've seen him be going. And now we've got 3 rounds left, so Oubre goes there. Makes a little bit of sense. I also think at this point in the season, the number of late round flyers is just not there. There's just not many guys that I'm interested in. Clowney, maybe. They've got no Watford, and Claxton's dealing with a hamstring thing. Sharp is out. So he's going to get minutes. But they have shown reluctance to start him or play him 28 in a preseason game. It's a lot of Dorian Finney-Smith nonsense. And there goes Clowney anyway, so I didn't even get a chance to get him. But I like what I see from him. Obviously, I like him as a player quite a bit, so he's absolutely okay. But I think there is a real risk of it just not working early on. Clowney, Pajemski, haven't really seen Pajemski go that late. Simmons at 137. This is usually where someone grabs Asar, and it's usually where I pass on Asar. I don't think he's going to be ready. And then we get into that, Karis LeVert, Aaron Gordon. Josh Hart goes. Good pick. Twitchy. E. Cash. You look like an Asar Thompson guy. I will be picking Al Horford if it gets to that. Ricochet at 139. Again, maybe it doesn't work. That's okay. I think there's only two rookies who have 30-minute upside, and it's Ricochet and Sarr. I don't think Edie's got that. I think they're the only two real rookies. Obviously, injuries can change that stuff down the stretch. There goes, well, I was wrong that eCash was an Asar guy. Barbecue Chicken 7 is the Asar guy, and he takes him there. Who knows? But you can just put him in IR, obviously, much like I did with Hartenstein. Let him fall 25 spots, grabbed him. Will Asar actually play enough, though, when the pressure is on? Hardaway, Beasley, Thompson, Holland, Fontecchio. There's a lot of weird names there. That how does Asar get 30? I don't know that he does, honestly. So I did get Horford there, so that adds to my team, which I'll just recap my team before my next pick comes around. Doncic, Brunson, Şengün, Siakam in round 4, Derek White, Zubats, Simons, Hartenstein, Rozier, Norman Powell, Dante DiVincenzo, Al Horford. And then after my Horford pick went Andrew Wiggins, and now with the final pick of round 12 was Klay Thompson, which I don't like getting Klay at 100, but I like getting him at 140, same as Malik Monk. Although I'm very worried about Malik Monk's minutes and usage. It has not been a good preseason, and Kevin Huerter has barely played. Speaking of the Kings and Kevin Huerter and replacements, do I look to get a Keon Ellis with my pick? Because Gary Trent just went. What's my team looking like it needs? Can I get a rebounder here? There's not many of them around, is there? Who is a rebounder for me? Time is running. I'm going to take Kevin Porter. Just don't know exactly. I don't think the Clippers are going to start him, and I think there is a suspension maybe coming. But if he gets 28, it's at least enough. I don't know that'll be useful, but it might be enough. Reed Shepherd, I don't know how it possibly can work. John Isaac from Barbecue Chicken's a nice pick. I was considering Shaden Sharp with my pick, but just a couple of because I've got Hartenstein already. There goes Dick at 150, Koulibaly at 151. These are nice flyer types. I think I will get Sharp with my final pick if it gets back around because I have more than one IR slot. And it's basically just like a waiver wire move, so I might as well just do it, add him, and then just stream through that spot anyway. And I have 2 streaming positions available, obviously, because I don't have old mate Hartenstein available. Kelly Olynyk, 152. I'm not sure. Like we like Olynyk, we know he's got a good fantasy game, but are the minutes actually there? I'm not 100% convinced in it. Jalen Smith, 153. You're just hoping to get 20 out of him. Don't know that you will. Dennis Schroeder, absolutely okay there. Wendell Carter, okay, but no upside. But when you're picking them at 155, maybe the upside's built in that they're the 120th best player, and that is also okay. One more pick left in this round, and that is Bub Carrington. Now how was that happening? Rookie, point guard, without a starting role, not really sure where it works. Love Bub, not sure how it works. TJ McConnell goes at 158 after Klingon goes at 150. 158 was McConnell, 157 was Klingon. So the guy took Carrington and Klingon. How are they playing enough? But a lot of these guys, there's that problem too. Well, Shaden Sharp went, Mathurin went. Then goes Huckers, needs an injury. Neesmith, trash game. Bud Hield, how does he play enough? Like, D'Anthony Melton's still around. Do I take him? Not my pick yet. But Melton's, or Big Dick Nick, because we might not have, what's his name, starting? Mark Williams. And then goes Achua at 165. Grayson Allen, surprisingly available, but I am going to take just a little bit of a defensive boost. I'll just take Keon Ellis in that spot for my final pick. A little bit of a defensive stat boost. There goes Lonzo Ball, which I know it's great that he's back. 16-minute limit. Won't play back-to-backs. No shot that works out. There's just no way that works out. We love Lonzo. No way that works. Somehow Tony Snell's appearing here. Grayson Allen should probably go here. And Melton also. Nembhard available. Wow. So it was KCP that went last. All right, look at my team. Doncic, Brunson, Şengün, Siakam, White. That's Derek White. White. Mr. White. Ivica Zubats, Anthony Simons, Hartenstein, Rozier, Norman Powell, Dante DiVincenzo, Al Horford, Kevin Porter Jr., and Keon Ellis. Good teams. Some good teams. PHX, I thought, drafted well. Yosh, Chetty Bang Bang, team on the turn, not too bad as well. Not a fan of D. Will's team as much or winners, but we're not playing the projected standings game. That can lead you to false misery or false hope. And the draft is maybe not as big of an important thing as you think it is, because there's so much variance that happens. Guys, hit the subscribe, hit the thumb up, leave your comments down below. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.